Alright, today we're going to be looking at sketching using the quadratic formula. So before we get started into sketching, we're going to talk about the quadratic formula and the discriminant. So we'll have a look at the discriminant first. Discriminant is used to determine how many solutions there are. So used to determine amount of solutions. These solutions are also the x-intercepts. So these solutions are also the x-intercepts. So just to refresh you, if the discriminant, so we usually do it by a triangle, is equal to 0, there's one solution. If it's greater than 0, there's two solutions. And if it's less than 0, then there are no solutions, 0 solutions. So remember, when we're talking about solutions, we're talking about intercepts as well. So one solution for x-intercept, one intercept means that it touches the x-axis at that point. Two solutions mean it goes through the axis twice. No solutions means the graph does not pass through the x-axis. It means it's either above the x-axis or below the x-axis, depending on what we're working with. Alright. So the quadratic formula is, just to refresh ourselves, x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of the discriminant over 2a. We use this formula and we find out what the solutions are. This tells us what the solutions are. This finds up solutions. This finds solutions. Alright. So let's do an example. We're going to sketch 2x squared plus 4x minus 3. So 2x squared, labeling all significant points. We're going to round x-intercepts to 2 decimal places. Okay, so alright, so when we're going about doing this example, we're asked to find all significant points. So what that means is your intercepts and your turning point. Your intercepts and your turning point. Alright, so my y-intercept is at negative 3. So we've got that. Yep. So no worries. So there's our first point. Second point is the turning point, which we'll find later. Next thing is we're going to use the quadratic formula. We have a is 2, b is 4, c is negative 3. I'm going to substitute. So x-intercepts will be -4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared minus 2, minus 2 times 3 over 2 times 2. So this will be -4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus -3 times -2 is 6, positive 6. Positive 6 times positive 2 is positive 12 over 4. X will be -4 plus or minus the square root of 28 over 4. Alright. Oops, I've made a mistake here. This is actually meant to be 4AC. So this will make this 24, and this will make this 40. Okay. Now, from here I'm going to simplify the third, because I can make that simpler. -4 plus or minus, it will be 2 root 10 over 4. They will cancel down, so we'll have -2, 1 and 2. So x will actually be equal to -2 plus or minus a square root of 10 over 2. Okay. These are approximately 0.58 and -2.58. Alright. The turning point of this, to calculate the turning point, we'll be using the x value of negative b over 2a. Now if I substitute that in, negative b is -4 over 4, which is equal to -1. So if I substitute x equals -1 into the formula, into rule, this will give me my turning point value, my corresponding y value. So we'll have y equals 2 -1 squared plus 4 -1 minus 3, which is equal to -2 minus 4 minus 3. Y is equal to -9. Oh, sorry. This is actually positive 2, which makes it -5. Alright, so here's my graph. Y, x, TP is -1, -5. So 0.58, here's 1, here's 2, here's -2, here's -3. I'll just label them. 2.58 is roughly there, 0.58 is roughly there. -1, 5. -1, -5 is down here. Here's my turning point, and our y-intercept's at -3. So here's -3, and we're going like that. Make sure we label those points. So -1, -5 is this point. We'll say this is -2.58, and this is 0.58, and I've already labelled that as -3. So, the key things we need to include in these graphs are intercepts and turning points. Intercepts and turning points. If we can get them, then we're able to draw the graph. Now, to sum up, what we've done here is we're using the quadratic formula this time to find the solutions. We also use part of the quadratic formula to find the turning point. And once we've plotted those points, we draw the graph. Remembering that if the coefficient of A is positive, then it's a normal U shape. If it's a negative, if A is negative, then it's upside down U. So just keep that in mind when you're drawing. And that's all. So good luck.